Hey there, it's Colleen Cedric from Pet Nanny Coach, a company I created to help pet sitters get more clients, make more money, work less time, and ultimately create the lifestyle that they so deserve. So recently I took a flight over to California from the East Coast. I live in Philadelphia, and I wanted to use all that time wisely. So I thought I'm going to write an amazing blog post with what I think are the most important tips for pet sitters. So I sat down in my seat and I started to write, and it just kind of like dumped out of me. And I literally had 80 different ideas of what I thought was so important. And then I thought, okay, that's a little too much. I'm going to overwhelm them. So I basically went through and just crossed out, and I ended up with the 10, what I think are the 10 top tips that I can give you if you are looking to grow your business, or if maybe you are contemplating starting a business and you haven't done so yet. So that is what this is geared towards. It's really not for those people who, are on their own and have a few clients and want to keep it that way. Okay, so that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to people that want to grow their business or people that are thinking about starting a business. This is for you. So I go into detail about all 10 below, but I'm going to go through them and kind of just give some quick thoughts on each. All right, so number one is love what you do. All right, so this means that when you first start out pet sitting, and you start getting clients, you start gaining momentum, you quickly learn that you have no life, none whatsoever. You are out all hours of the day and night, in and out of people's houses, sleeping at people's houses, and you literally have no life. So you need to be okay with that and just understand that's kind of like the way it is in the beginning until you decide to grow a team, and then they can take some of that pressure off of you. But you need to really love what you're doing, which is love the pets, to be able to withstand that little tough part. The second part is you have to love business. If you want to grow a substantial business, you have to learn about business. You need to learn about marketing. You need to learn about systems. I talked to so many of you guys who were like, I would love to grow my business, but I don't want to learn anything about it. I just want to hang out with the dogs. And I don't really have an answer for those people because you have to do the work. And if business isn't your thing, maybe, growing a business isn't, the right fit for you because you actually have to learn about this stuff in order to apply it to your business to get to the next level. So that is my first tip. Love the pets, but love the business aspect of it as well. All right, number two is build a positive mindset. Now, when I first started Pet Nanny, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about mindset and how much it really affects you, your business, and your life. I have become extremely passionate about it. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly working on myself. I don't think you'll ever master it, but you definitely can get pretty good at it. But really understanding that you too can do this. Why not you? You are worthy. You can make an amazing life and have an amazing career doing what you love. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. So there's a book I linked to below. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and I sent it to all my private clients because it has, affected me profoundly and it's changed my life. So I linked to it below if you want to become a student of building a positive mindset and discovering what they call an upper limit problem. I would definitely click that link below. Okay, number 3 is become a guru of problem solving. All right, so in the pet sitting industry, there are going to be a plethora of problems that you are going to have to deal with. Things go wrong, whether it's you out doing the pet sitting or you have a staff out doing the pet sitting. You need to be okay with the fact that things are going to go wrong, but you also need to be able to deal with them efficiently and effectively. So if you're the type of person that hates to deal with issues, hates to deal with conflict, you shut your computer, you don't want to deal with it. You want to just shut off your phone, no, you don't want to deal with it. This is not the industry for you. Being the owner of a pet sitting business, you need to be able to monitor a situation, analyze a situation, come to a idea of how you're going to fix it, and then communicate effectively with your sitters, with your clients, to manage the problem and deal with it quickly. Now, my tip is always just put yourself in the shoes of your clients or your sitters. How would you want to be treated in this situation? And then go above and beyond, to smooth over the problem. But if you're somebody that really has a hard time with dealing with, lots of problems, this is not the industry for you because things go wrong. That is for sure. All right, so quickly learn from your mistakes. All right, so I did a blog post not too long ago about this, so I'm not going to say too much about this, but again, it's being able to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow. And like I said in the other blog post, that's advice that you maybe would give a second grader, but it's something we need to be reminded of. Me personally, I continuously made mistakes when it came to hiring because I needed to keep my roster filled and I didn't want to lose clients and I didn't want to switch people, didn't want to switch sitters on clients, and I would hire people that I knew weren't going to work out in the long term. But I needed a body. I needed a warm body. And I went, I regretted it later on. So, and I continuously did this over and over again. And it wasn't until I'm like, okay, this isn't working. Let me change how I'm doing this. And now I have a whole new system and I have a sitter manager and I have, everything in place. I'm like, well, it took me long enough to learn from my mistake. So that's my advice to you. When you're in business, especially in the pet sitting world, mistakes are going to happen. Your sitters are going to make mistakes. You are going to make mistakes. But it's learning from those mistakes and then creating systems around those mistakes so that you don't make them again. Okay? Number 5 is create a splendid customer experience. So what a lot of people don't know is that in business, it's 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to have your current customers buy from you again. So what this means in short is that you need to pay attention to the people that have already raised their hand and said, hey, I want to hire you, I want to work with you, and stay in touch with them and give them an experience of being part of a community and letting them know that you as a person, as an owner, really truly care about them and their pets. Again, you might want to link over to another blog I did about stay in touch marketing and how important it is to stay in touch with these customers. But like right from the get-go, right from the time they call, you should have a system in place that really shows them like, wow, this business knows what they're doing. I trust them with my pets. After they go through their first service, following up with them, then keeping in touch with them, offering promos. If you have a great client that's a midday client that has a baby, send her a beautiful baby gift. If you have a client who is retiring, he likes scotch, buy him a bottle of scotch. Do these things. It will be noticed, I promise. But always keeping your current customers in mind, but the whole experience from start to finish, really sit down and think about what can you do on a systematic basis and a regular basis that's really going to wow your customers. All right, number 6 is analyze the competition and then be different. So when I started my business, I looked at all of my competition, and there weren't a lot of websites back then. There was business cards. There was, basic, you go to PSI and get like the very basic forms. I had a 1-page website created with me with my animals and call me, my phone number. And I guess back then that was fine. I actually think, wow, if I had what I had now back then, holy cow, business would have been amazing. But I was just doing what everybody else was doing. Oh, this is what they're going to charge? I'm going to charge exactly that. Oh, so every visit's only 30 minutes? Okay, I'm going to do exactly that. Oh, and okay, visits are between this time and this time and this time. Okay, I'm going to do that. I did everything that they were doing. But it wasn't until I learned that being different is actually what makes you special that it's like a no-brainer now. I mean, you hit my website, and you can quickly see how different I am from, all the competition. So that is when the magic starts happening, when you analyze what people are doing and then you do more. All right. Number 7, this is a scary one for a lot of you. Make technology your friend. I know I talk about my mother all the time in these these videos, but my mom was she was a big wig realtor in our area, and she just kind of refused to keep up with, technology. And she kind of got left in the dust by, these other realtors who, have amazing websites and understand about stay in touch marketing and use technology to make it easy for their customers to buy from them again and buy from them over and over again. And, now she's 68 and she's like, I think you need to teach me all this stuff. And I'm like, not saying that, I'm not going to help her. Of course I'm going to help her, but I'm just using this as an example. 20 years ago, if she had just kept up with this and really embraced this and understood how much easier it makes life and makes business, she would be so much better off today. Instead, now she's kind of chasing her tail, like, oh my God, how do I get ahead? And I'm now going to have to teach her a thing or two. But that is my tip number 7: is make technology your friend. There are software programs made for pet sitters. Use them. There's a million different ways that you can keep in touch with your clients automatically. Use them. Learn all of these programs, learn all of these softwares, and put them into action in your business, and you're going to see what they can do for you. All right. Number 8, hire a small business accountant. All right. So something I did for an insanely long time was ignore my finances. And then when I got married, I was like, oh, he's really good with money. He'll do it. I just never wanted to deal with it. There was a lot of money coming in. There was a lot of money going out, and I really didn't understand it, and it's something that I really regret. I wish, like, right from the get-go that I had somebody, a bookkeeper, an accountant, someone to help me and make me understand, okay, this is what's coming in, this is what's going out, this is what profit is, this is what you're actually making after everything, is paid. This is how we can reduce your taxes. I mean, I just wish I had done this way sooner than I have. There is a system that I would like for you to look into, and I will make sure to link down to it below, but it's called the Profit First system, and you can get it on Amazon, and it has changed my life. I mean, it really has, in terms of basic understanding of like how to manage your money, and it's actually a pretty simple system. But if you are struggling with your finances and you don't have a small business accountant, I definitely would look into that. And second, I would look into the Profit First method. All right. Number 9 is build a team to skyrocket your growth. So a lot of you that know my story know that I waited about 5 years. I basically was living in a world where I was like pet sitting all the time. I had no life, and I was fearful. I was fearful of hiring somebody. I was fearful that they wouldn't do the job that I would do. All the limiting beliefs that we all tell ourselves, and they're going to mess up, and they're not going to do a good job, and I don't want to deal with paying anybody, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just, as soon as I started hiring people, it was like, woof, how much more money I was making. And then when I hired my first client happiness manager, again, my first assistant, woof, the business went up. Then when I hired my sitter manager, woof, the business went up. Every time I'm building this team around me to, take stuff off my plate where I can then focus on the business and building the business, I see a drastic increase in the amount of revenue that my business is doing. So, I wouldn't stop at just like, okay, I'm going to hire one person to take. I mean, I always believe that you need at least one person, whether it's another pet sitting business owner that you can call to say, hey, I need to go away for a weekend. Can you take my visits? But at least having someone like that, if not 2 people that actually work for your business, so you're actually making money on their visits. Now I think I'm up to about 40 pet nannies, and I have a full-time client happiness manager and then a part-time sitter manager. So it's really done wonders for my business. I would never in a million years have imagined I'd get to the point where I am today, but I truly believe it's because I have built the team that surrounds me today. They're awesome. The pet sitters are awesome. My assistants are awesome. And that's it. So if you really want to make a substantial income in this industry, I highly suggest you build a team. And it's not easy. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but where I am now, it is possible to get over those hurdles. All right. So number 10 is find a mentor. So my mentor came into my life actually at a National Association of Professional Pet Sitters seminar, and she spoke. And her name is Fabienne Fredrickson, and I love her more than life itself. She's changed my life. But she was like, small back then. Now she's got this like amazing empire where she speaks and has all these great events, and she's just changing the world with her view on life and mindset, and she's just a wonderful person. So, but she's also the person that gave me like tough love when I needed it. She's the person that, challenged me to do what I'm doing today with you guys, with creating these videos. She and her husband were like, you need to be on video. I'm like, no way. I would never go on video. It's not for me. And once again, she was absolutely right. So, whether it's a mentor, it's someone in the industry that's doing well, that you could model and get advice from, that would be wonderful. If it's someone even outside of the industry, somebody that is a small business guru. I mean, there's so many different types of mentors that you can find. I do believe that when you invest in a mentor, you are putting what they call skin in the game. And that means that you are much more likely to go after the results that you're looking for because you've put something behind it. You put a chunk of money into this and you're going to show up and you're going to work at getting the results that you desire. So, but if that's not something that's completely, you're not interested in, I would even find someone that you can even follow. There's free podcasts. There's free video blogs like this, regular blogs. Amy Porterfield, somebody who I adore. I love her podcast. I do not miss it. I listen to it every single week. She's somebody that if she told me she would do private coaching, I would fly out to California where she lives and I'd work with her because I'm obsessed with her. So she's somebody that I look up to and I aspire to be like one day. I just think it's an important step if you really want to take the next big step in your business and in your life. Finding a mentor was amazing for me, and that is my 10th tip. Must know tips for pet sitters. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I'll link to a bunch of stuff down on the blog below. If you have any questions, I'm always here for you. So please Facebook me at Pet Nanny Coach or tweet me at Colleen Pet Nanny, and I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. All right, I am wishing you a wonderful day. Take care.